Disturb them though.
Actually, they like being disturbed.
Do they?
Yeah, they like being stirred up so it gets more oxygen and stuff in here.
Oh.
There's a bunch of worms.
Oh my goodness.
Now you see what happens is, I want to heat the building, right? So I used to heat it with a couple of heaters, one on the one end and one on the other, and Frank would just let me do it, eh? And I thought, God, there should be a way to do this without, because compost gets hot. So I thought, well, there should be a way to do this without paying to heat. So I thought, what I did is, you can see the marks on the walls back there?
Yeah.
Well, I piled up a whole bunch of the worst looking stuff you ever seen there, and it got hot.
Oh, wow.
And of course I dug out the worms, pushed them back, and then when I put it there, they went in there, and then when it started to get hot, they could feel it, and they started backing up, and they keep trying to go in, but they're kind of designed for that, eh? And that's what this is. This is hot down the center.
Yeah.
Like not real hot, but
Okay.
it's hot enough that you wouldn't be able to sleep in there. It'd be too hot. And the same with the worms, eh?
Okay.
So they're like a bunch of milk cows all the way along there, and they come in and they're trying to eat it, and they just don't go any closer, eh?
Right.
So then when does this get complete? Like, will they eat these cups too?
Oh yeah, everything, yeah. Put millions of cups in there. That's all it is just garbage and cups and paper and I'll tell you girls, you would never believe some of the stuff. I'm down at the landfill now, eh?
Yeah.
And they said, okay, this is, you Mr. Host, you think you can do this? Okay, well, we're gonna have an experiment here. We want you to take 70 tons down to the dump in a year. So from August till next August. So just maybe a ton a month or a couple tons or whatever. Well, I got 70 tons in a month and a half. So of course now the program's shut down other than what I'm doing, putting worms in and stuff. So anyways, when I was doing it there, when you cap a garbage dump,
Yeah.
you put dirt over it, it doesn't get oxygen. You know how they say it gives off methane gas?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the stuff that leaches out of there, it's some pretty mean stuff, eh?
Yeah.
Like
It
the
is.
grass dies when it comes out of there, eh?
Yeah, for sure. Even in the backyard, same thing, right?
Uh,
When we throw
I don't know
all
about
our.
that, but maybe.
No?
But
No, not the same as what he's talking
Oh,
about.
okay.
well, it's because they make them to make natural gas kind of. It's not natural gas; it's methane gas, and they purposely stop the oxygen from going in there, so it ferments, but it doesn't get oxygen, so it makes methane gas, which
Okay.
is bad for the environment, eh?
Yeah,
Right.
that's right.
So what happens is when that stuff leaches out, they have to catch that stuff in a sewer tank, you might say, and it's nasty stuff, eh? So I told the guy, I says, go give me a couple gallons of that stuff. I want to see if my worms will eat it. So you
Wow.
stand right beside it, right there. I took and I put it in a 5-gallon jug, these 2 jugs. It just looks like sewer water, terrible looking
Just
stuff.
liquefied and it's.
And, I never thought they'd eat it, but I thought, well, what the heck, I'll give it a try. So I put it in there and then I took a bunch of newspaper, chewed up newspaper, like sawdust, you might say.
Yeah.
And I made it so it was drip dry. And then I mixed some grass like this here in there. And then I just bumped it up against the worms and I thought, well, if they don't like it, they won't go in it.
Yeah.
There was more worms in there than there was in,
Really.
Wow.
incredible.
How high have you gotten this?
It's been up about 2.5 feet high. This spring I took it all out.
We were in here when it was up high.
Yeah.
And it
Yeah.
was really
We walked
cold
right
outside.
up the middle of it, all the way up to the end.
Yeah, I took about
Unbelievable.
750 5-gallon pails out of here this spring by hand.
755
Yeah,
5-gallon pails?
yeah. Wet mud and walking through that.
And so then do you sell it to people for soil for their
Yeah.
yard?
Yeah.
It's a
So
brilliant.
then another
idea.
thing is overweighty. They have a grease trap, just like probably, I don't know if we have one or whatever. But anyways, they cut steaks and a little bit of
Yeah.
oil and stuff goes down. It gets caught in there, so it doesn't. I guess it's to stop from
Going
going up the
into
sewer.
Yeah.
And they want to get rid of that, and they don't know where to go with it, eh? Because you can't just go pour it out in the ground, eh?
Right.
I said, well, give me a gallon of that. Let me see what it is, because it's really all it is just fat out of steaks and stuff like that. Eh?
Yeah.
And when I got it, it was in a jug about that big, and it looked kind of like canola oil, except for kind of murky looking. And so I did the same thing, eh? And I put it down here right beside that, licking her right up.
Wow, hey, I mean, it's really, it's just
That's it right here. I
amazing.
can show you, and I don't even have to test it with the scientists or whatever, because they'll kill the worms if they don't like it. And that's what that is right there. And look at her eating that stuff like crazy.
They're happy.
Yeah.
Well, that's great, Will.
Even the
So-
plastic, eh? Like-
Yeah. Well, I don't think they'll eat plastic.
No,
but
the plastic will be left behind.
Yeah.
But you see, when the worms go in there, you know that it's not too terribly bad because
Yeah.
they'll bring it back. See, when something goes through the worm, it comes out neutral. There's no salmonella or nothing.
So how, when the worms propagate, like, where do they, I don't know, how do worms propagate?
What do you mean?
Like, how do they
populate?
reproduce?
Populate? You mean?
Yeah,
Well, they're, you've seen a worm and how they got a collar on the center of them?
yeah.
That's their sex organ. So when one is heading this way, they got both sexes.
Yeah, oh,
But they
okay.
still need two worms to do it. So this one going this way and this one goes this way, and they can sense that this one was in the mood. They put them collars together, and it looks like somebody took some fishing line and tied them up. I don't know, it just looks painful. And they sit there for a couple hours, and then a little bit of sperm or whatever the heck comes off there, and then they pull back, and then there's an egg.
Oh, for God's
Yeah,
sakes.
yeah, and they can do that. They can lay an egg once a week.
So how many worms did you start out with?
I got 8 pounds, so probably about 8,000 probably.
You have no count now, do you?
Oh my God.
So about 1,000 worms per pound.
Well, if they're all big ones and just the odd little one, that's what it is, yeah.
You got some bigger ones in there? Like, are they
no,
all
they're
pretty
all,
much?
these are the big ones here, yeah.
They're, okay. Yeah.
Yeah, they're just,
Oh, my word.
and you see, once you get down here, then you're down into the dirt.
Oh, yeah, down in the dirt, there's
Uh-huh.
a million of them there.
Yeah, and as the stuff goes down there, see what happens is when, if you lay a piece of cardboard down here, there's nothing in cardboard really to speak of. But when you lay some cardboard down, then you take some of this grass and you sprinkle it over there and you get it wet and soggy like this here. That soaks into the cardboard, and then it gets soggy, and then they eat it because there's nutrition in that cardboard. That's the only reason they eat it, eh? Yeah. And let me tell you, they'll eat some pretty unreal things.
Well, especially like you said, this toxic waste.
Yeah. Pretty nasty stuff, but
I think I might have trod on a few here. Are these little white things there, are they the beginning of them?
no,
Yeah.
I don't think so, no.
Oh, okay.
Remember some other
Critter?
critter there. You know, when I first started doing this, I put too much, I didn't have that many worms, and I put a bunch of stuff in here, and you couldn't even walk in here. There were just trillions and trillions of flies. You know, it just would drive you crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then once, I don't know what it is, but once the worms basically took over the whole thing, I think what it is
So
the flies maybe will lay some eggs, and then all the worms are eating up all whatever and eat the eggs and all and
Their own
whatever.
little ecosystem, hey?
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's really crazy.
it's phenomenal. So how much, so you said you took out 750 5-gallon pails?
I did, yeah.
God.
It was about 2.5 feet high here. And then I put it around the corner over here.
And then people come and buy it from you.
Yeah.
So now we've moved to outside.
Yeah, well, when I was doing it in there, then I started playing around outside, and I thought, well, you know, the ground doesn't freeze in the wintertime, other than the top. And when you go in your backyard in the summertime, there's always worms there, and I thought, well, they must stay, you know, they must not die out in the wintertime because nobody's planting them there. So then I started playing around, and so then this over here is, Frank allowed me to make a row down on his property here. Oh, so what you're looking at here,
Is this old newspaper?
yeah,
Yeah.
it sure is, yeah. They eat that too, yeah. And then so I started,
Careful.
and I started here, and I started building it on. I went all the way down to the end of that fence down there, and then back over that way another, I don't know what it was, 150 feet or. maybe
So
200
underneath here is all worms.
there's nothing in there except for cardboard and grass and leaves, and that's pretty much it. Yeah, and it's all worms that eat this. Yeah. And this here is that newspaper. It's froze right now, but
Yeah.
it's that newspaper I was telling you about there. It's
Because this is a couple years already now, right?
oh yeah, yeah. There'll be some down in here somewhere. You find it. It's getting cold, so they start going down.
Sure they did.
Well, they can go
Oh, there they
deep
are.
down, hey?
Yeah.
Oh, wait up. Yeah, they're really red.
And of course that crust, you know, if you, like you say, if they create their own heat, and there's that layer on top,
Yeah.
it's going to be,
Well, what they'll do is if it, as it freezes, like if you got a foot of snow here, they won't even go down. They'll just stay just under the snow. They like
Really?
that. But if it like last winter it didn't get any snow, I
Yeah.
took a pick out here and I couldn't even pick that. It was so freaking hard. I went in there about 6-8 inches and it was just like a rock. But they just keep going down and down if they can.
Yeah.
And as long as they don't run into a piece of cardboard or something, they just keep going down and down to the earth or whatever, and then in the spring they come back up. Or follow the roots of the trees too, eh?
Oh,
Do they
right.
eat styrofoam?
No.
No.
No, they don't eat, they don't like stuff like that.
Yeah. My gosh.
So, you know, when it's all said and done, it's a heck of a way. So how many pounds of waste do you think you get rid of a year?
Well, I took 70 tons down to the landfill down there, and I know I put at least that much on this in the spring before. I started in August down there. First
70
August,
ton.
10th of
And
August
that's all
actually.
recyclable, all compostable stuff.
Yeah,
No.
it's people throwing it away, and
Right.
and I go and pick it out of the bin, and everybody goes, "What's he dumpster diving for?" And I say, "Well, that's free green."
Yeah.
Because you know, if you think about bread and all that, it's just grain. That's all it is, eh?
Yeah.
So then, do you have a big enough market here in Fort Nelson just to keep selling it?
Not really. Well, what my big game is
Uh-huh.
I went to the town and I told the town that if you give me a piece of property down there, they don't know what to do with cardboard. Eh? It's a big problem. Eh? Tons and tons of cardboard, and they don't know what to do with it. And I said, so I went in to them and says, "Oh, I know what to do with it." I said, "Just give me a piece of property down there at the dump and a garden hose." And I said, "I'll take care of all your perishables and all your."
Yeah.
And they thought that's just too simple to be. Can't be.
Feasible. Yeah.
So
And it's
after a couple of
really-
years of talking to them, they finally give me a spot down there. So I got my test out. They said, "Okay, well, we can't give you 30 acres like you said." They said, and I don't even know if I'd need that much. I just shot a little high in case.
Might as well.
Yeah, because you know how it is when you say I want 5
Yeah.
acres, and then you go back and you say, "Oh, I need another 7 or
Yeah.
5." They go, "Oh, you told us 5 acres." So I thought I'll shoot a little high, and then
Yeah.
they could give me a little bit, and then they won't feel so bad about it. Eh? But anyways, what I told the town is, I said, "You're going to get tourism." That was one of the things.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
And you think, tourism? How the heck are you going to do that? Well, I said, all the dumps in the world, as far as I can see, they hot compost. So they put it in a great big pile, and it steams, it gets super hot and stinks, and does it like that. This is called cold composting. It's the difference between this and hot composting is you need a little more area. You know, you need a bigger area. But when you get done, you get a lot better product, and it doesn't catch fire. The hot compost catch fire all the time, eh?
Wow,
They
that's so
friggin' catch
cool.
fire. They get so hot inside the center, eh?
Yeah.
And they're off gassing the methane.
Yeah. So I
Wow.
told them, I said, this little town is starving to death. I had all 7 members sitting there, and I said, this town is starving to death. And I says, once them trucks, when you guys decide to let me do this down there, like on the large scale, and the trucks start going down there, we start putting this in rows. I says, and you put this on Facebook and whatever, and you tell them that they're taking care of all the garbage in Fort Nelson, dead moose, everything, and eating it all up with worms. I says, you're going to have people on busloads coming up here wanting to do it in their town, and they'll bring busloads of people.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I
Absolutely.
think so. Anyway.
I
It's a
think so.
brilliant idea.
Yeah.
And then I said, on top of that, I said, you know, they would obviously have to, just like Wide Sky, they'd have to pay me to take care of the garbage, right?
Yeah.
But I says, I think you're going to get it back. And they said, how's that? I said, wow, this row here probably has, I don't know how many tons of worms in it, but a ton of worms is worth $80,000. Think about that a little bit. So I said, if we do this downtown, down there, and have say 40 rows like this, that could be 50 tons of worms. And I says, the next thing's going to happen is people are going to come up here and check
And
it
wanna
out.
buy
Say,
worms.
well, no, they're going to probably ask me to go down and do this
Yeah.
with their garbage dump,
Yeah.
and buy worms too, though. And
Yeah.
so I'll say, yeah, sure, we'll come down there and do that for you, or I will, or whatever. And then they're going to say, okay, what's the next thing here? And I say, well, now you got to find yourself about 4 or 5 tons of worms. And they say, well, where do we buy that? I said, I don't know, but I know that Fort Nelson has 50 tons. And like, you know, when they pay me, of course, taking care of all this stuff, of course, you know, I don't know what it would cost, but you know, it's not cheap because you got a hoe and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
And then so when say Dawson Creek, they'd need at least 4 tons, which is $320,000.
Yeah.
They
How much a
have to
ton?
have the worms to do it
80.
80.
80,000.
80,000.
Yeah.
for 1 ton. So 4 of them would be
Who set the
320.
price on worms?
Well, if you buy them, that's what they cost. They're not
Really?
easy to grow.
So you've really done a fabulous job here reproducing them.
And another thing, if you go online and you say,
Okay.
okay, I want to buy a pound of worms. I've
Yeah.
done this before. In
Yeah.
fact, the ones I bought wasn't a pound.
Yeah.
A pound of worms is a lot of worms. It's like a pound of butter. It's solid worms, no dirt, right? So when you go online, you'll see, oh, $25 for a pound of worms. But when you get this big gob of dirt and you shake all the worms out of there, you probably only have a little bit of worms. So you're actually paying $100.
Yeah.
Honest to God, that's how.
So what did you start with here then?
I only had 8 pounds of supposedly worms. I doubt there was 8 pounds. It might have been 5 pounds or something.
And that's
like
what you started with?
Yeah, I started in a little
In his
box like
garage
this.
with little bins.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's pretty much what we remember
when I
worms
had
we
my
had.
little worms?
I had worms once too, and I drowned them accidentally.
Yeah, that can happen. Yeah.
I didn't know what the hell I was doing.
I don't know why, but I don't know why, but the worms seem to do pretty good in there. But when I had them in a box, I don't know why they didn't seem to do as good as what they do, say, out here or in there.
See, ours
But it has to
didn't
do with
either.
Space.
They don't
Has
seem
to
to
do with
multiply that
temperature
fast. You don't
control.
see that many eggs and all that kind of stuff, and I'm not sure
Space,
why. I think it's
yeah.
because they're not
They're-
fluffed up enough once in a while.
Oh,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I honest to God,
And,
I'm
and
not
ours
quite sure.
were like, because I made the mistake of putting them on the tile floor, and they were all like escaping the bucket.
Trying to
We
escape.
came home and we're like, oh, okay, is it cold?
Yeah.
So they wouldn't have much temperature control in a little environment, right?
Yeah, I'm not sure what it is. I
Whatever
know in
you-
that bin there, like that's pretty big.
that's a
Yeah.
big bin, yeah.
It's a natural thing for the worms. All of a sudden, if it's nice and warm and moist, they'll just start crawling all over the walls
Yeah.
and all over the place. Eh? So
Yeah.
what I do to stop that is, like I leave the door open a little bit, and there's a little hole. See that hole in the back
I
end?
saw
there?
that, yeah.
So
Yeah.
that air goes through there just because they have to breathe. Eh? So you have to have a little bit of
Yeah.
air circulating, not too much, just a
Yeah.
little bit. So if it's a really cold day, I'll close up about an inch, and I'll leave it so it's about -1 in there. So there's frost on the walls, and they don't want to crawl up the walls.
Oh,
Then.
okay.
If I give it too warm and it starts dripping off, then they'll start crawling all over the place.
So how did you get interested in this?
You know what? I'm not quite sure. I just took it was to do with the subway. We had all the vegetables and
Yeah.
stuff, and I
Yeah,
thought, well,
all
you
the-
know, it's for something to do. There's nothing. I don't like playing hockey and all that kind of stuff. I thought, well, I'll try some worms. And so of course, I took the vegetables and stuff.
Yeah.
And then pretty soon I got onto the cardboard and
Mm-hmm.
Nancy and Monica. That's weird.
I must be practicing.
well, hi there.
That's hilarious, Smucky.
They're
So,
all safe now.
so you've got the hose here to give them some water.
Yeah.
Because it was a pretty dry summer, right?
Yeah, I got automatic sprinklers on there.
Oh, yeah. There's another one.
So you can buy these little timers. They work slicker than heck.
Yeah.
They're about $80, and you can put 4 hoses on them. So you put one here, one there, one there, one there, and you could have it come on for 1 minute or 30 seconds or
That's
an
all
hour,
we need, eh? Just a
and
little,
and it'll come on every day, whatever you set it. Once a day, once every 3 days,
yeah.
and so that one all of a sudden it'll just start going and then it stops, and that one will go and it'll stop, and it just does it all the way around. It doesn't.
Do you water in the winter? No.
No, you don't have to water it in the wintertime.
Yeah.
You throw newspaper and cardboard and stuff before the snow comes, right?
Well, what I'm going to do with this year is Frank's got a hole that's down at the landfill site.
Yeah.
So I'm going to come, and I done it last year, and I'm going to fluff this all up
Okay.
just before winter.
Turn it, eh?
Well, yeah, and get it all
some air.
oxygenated and stuff, and then the worms will be able to crawl down and whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because it's pretty compact there right now.
Yeah,
right?
and it's hard for the worms to get down in there. They do better if you fluff it up.
Yeah.
It's just like a garden when you
Turn
rototill it or
over,
whatever.
yeah.
Yeah.
It everything gets oxygen and stuff, and it
Yeah.
grows a lot better. And I think what it is it actually makes the bacteria and stuff start really going to town in there, and then it gives the worms something to eat. They eat the bacteria and whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
Greg, that's
So when you think,
amazing.
oh, I shouldn't disturb
Wow.
the worms, actually you should just take it out and fluff them up like
Fluff
that
'em.
and throw them in there. If you did it just about every third day, they'd love it.
Yeah.
This dirt here is the poop dirt.
Yeah. You know what's another thing that's kind of neat about that?
What's that?
I was telling you about the compost. When you compost them big piles, they catch fire, eh?
Yeah.
Okay, when a worm eats cardboard, which burns like hell,
Mhm.
it doesn't burn. That there won't burn. Well, I mean, it might if you really took a cutting torch, but it's dirt, so that really gets me. It won't burn.
Well, it won't burn because it's an organic product.
Yeah, exactly. It's just
Like
dirt,
a
basically.
piece of lettuce won't.
But it started out as cardboard.
Cardboard. Yeah.
And then-
Exactly.
But
And
a piece of lettuce won't burn, right? It's organic.
Yeah, that's true.
So
Yeah,
This is organic.
yeah.
But what you're saying in the hot compost is they'll throw cardboard in, which is highly flammable.
Well, there's another thing
So you mean like-
going to that. Like in the hot compost, they use my idea, for example, and then when they get on the computer,
Look at
well,
that.
there's
Hey, that's
nobody
nice
doing
black
that.
know.
They just other
right
than
there.
a little box in
Yes.
the yard or whatever.
Yeah.
So they used, I think it's maybe Yellowknife or whatever that other town is up there. They got a big hot compost going. Eh? So they said, well, you know, the only reason we keep coming back to you, Will, is because their hot compost, you cannot put all the cardboard in there. You still have to bale up the excess cardboard and bury it. I thought, well, what's the sense even doing it if you gotta bury it still? I said, I can take all the cardboard and do it. And they said another problem is, yours don't catch fire. I said, no, it doesn't.
So, you know, Whitehorse, which is a real, you know, it favors itself as being a very progressive kind of a city. You know, they years ago when I lived there, they had a communal compost. But I don't know what they ever.
Yeah, I think that's who it was. I think it's
Yeah.
Whitehorse. They got a real nice,
Yeah.
because they keep traveling up there and taking a look and whatever, in case this don't work out or whatever, and
Yeah.
kind of like that.
Well, that's amazing. Thank you.
It sure is.
Cool. Yeah.
Very cool.
It's very cool. Garbage is a huge deal.
And you can sell worms. Like lots of people like buying worms.
Yeah, I really want to try now. I'm all excited. I want to get into a worm farm.
Well, you know what you're better to do
What's that?
is to go in your backyard and do it in your backyard.
Yeah, we've got lots of
Yeah.
room.
Yeah, and you have to watch. So you guys got a dog?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, you got to watch so he doesn't get on there and pack it down, and
Oh.
because
right.
that'll
have some
then the frost will go
bins.
down. Oh
We
yeah.
have some bins, so I can even put lids and the dogs won't go in.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you do it outside, it has to kind of be like that.
Because
Yeah, it don't have to be that big.
Eat
It's
it.
just 10 by 10 by 10, and you just throw your leaves and keep it nice and moist in the summertime, and
It
put your.
needs to be that size, 10 by 10.
Well, I wouldn't want to go any less than that because the frost might get in there.
Yeah, I
and then
understand.
when winter comes like this, you take the leaves like I got there, and just
Yeah.
pour a whole pile of them over top like that, and then they'll settle right down, and then it won't freeze underneath,
Okay,
Yeah.
that's the insulation.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then if you got a dog, of course, when you take a nice steak bone and that and throw it in there, like here, there's no dogs can't get in here,
Right.
so
Yeah.
it's all right,
Yeah.
And if you can bury it underneath the leaves, it doesn't smell much. But your dog, he'll smell that, and he'll
Yeah.
go there digging in there, and then it's hard on the worms because the frost starts going down.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
But if you can keep them out of there, like fence it off,
See, I need to do a greenhouse on top of a 10 by 10.
yeah, there you go. Project for spring there, right
There you go. Open a little hatch and throw your stuff down.
I've seen that where they make hatches.
Well, thank you for taking the time.
Yeah.
Yeah, you bet.
So
Yeah.
what's slated if, and I know the town's a little excited about this, if this works, and they like it. Like what I told them to do, you know that puller mill up there?
Yeah.
That old puller mill?
The OSB?
Yeah, when they peel all the bark off, they put it in a great big pile. That's a monster pile
Yeah.
of bark there, right? And now it's kind of like peat moss. It almost looks like peat moss,
Yeah.
but it doesn't grow nothing because it's got a chemical in it, supposedly from the cottonwoods and stuff. They have a natural chemical.
Okay.
Well, when my worms eat it, then that chemical's gone, right?
Right.
So I told the town, I said, well, haul a bunch of that crap down onto this site because you know this muck around here, you can't drive on it, eh?
No.
So that's what they did. They put $12,000 worth of this bark around there. And now you can drive on it. It works really good, eh? It's all. So what's slated is, I don't know if you've seen it lately, but when you drive by there, that whole bark pile, if they like what they see, they're gonna give me a big piece, and then they're gonna take that whole pile and put it all over that whole thing.
Yeah.
Well, you know, you've
Have to go
really
take a look at it
provided
now.
an avenue for Northern Rockies to expand into an area that was really just your idea and has
Well,
created.
this is another thing I have figured too.
Yeah.
You know, like I actually beg for food like this stuff, eh? Nobody else wants it, right? So I said, there's another thing too. Like if this works as good as I think it's gonna work, then I said, like the Watson Lake or something like that, they probably don't like to spend $6-7 million digging a hole and stuff and getting rid of their own garbage.
Yeah.
I said, you could take a bin up there and say, we'll take all your cardboard and all your perishables, and you pay us
Take it away.
to take care of your garbage.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
And I'll
Yeah.
bet you they do it because they
That's a
don't want
good
all the
idea.
headaches of like
Yeah,
it's
and
expensive.
then we'll sell you back the soil.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
That's right.
No, I kid you not.
Yeah, no.
Of course, I'm
it's
getting ahead of myself
brilliant.
because I haven't even been able to. I got to be able to do what I'm doing right now first.
Yeah.
But
No, but
Yeah.
there's
All
a
takes time.
vision though too.
No, there's a lot of good stuff.
well,
For
like
sure.
I had some people say, well, how much could a worm eat? And I thought, well, it's like a cow. One cow can't give you that much milk, but you get 500 cows, and you got yourself a pile of milk. And the same
Right.
with the worms, eh? Like if you
Yeah.
figure there's 1 million worms out there, and there's a lot more than that.
Sure.
Each one can lay an egg once a week, and each egg can give off anywhere from 1 to 10 babies.
Oh, really?
So just think about
One
that for a
egg,
minute.
Oh, yeah.
So you see the town, I said, I'm going to take down 1,000 bucketfuls of worms down there. And they said, holy man. I said, well, don't worry about it. It says, when I take that 1,000 buckets out, I've already got 426. I says, by the time spring comes, we'll be all right back here because they multiply like crazy, eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
As long as
So,
they're happy.
so
right?
I'm loading it right up down there. I've been going and
So
going.
where about, is it in behind the dump? Is it where the dump is?
Have you ever been in where the fridges and stuff are?
Yeah,
Okay.
I have.
Well, as you're driving in there, you turn when you're looking at the fridges straight ahead,
Yeah.
and you turn this way. The big garbage truck usually gets you to go up there and dump the stuff over there. But I'm on this side.
Okay.
I'm in an open spot there, on this side of the road. When
Right.
the fridges are kind of
I
heading
see.
over this way, and I'm on
Yeah.
this side. There's no garbage or nothing there. It's just,
Right. Yeah.
I was just about going to take you guys down there and show you.
Oh, I'd love to, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
but,
I was gonna say, can we go do that? Like,
Well,
are we
I
allowed
probably
to?
could, but you know what? If you guys wanted to go down there and see it,
Yeah, we could probably go take a look, right?
yeah, but I'll wait till after the dump closes because I can go there anytime.
Oh, okay.
Because they don't like the compensation and all that kind of stuff
Yeah,
or
yeah,
whatever.
they don't like it
so,
behind there.
I mean, I could do it. I've done it. They just kind of frown on it a little bit. They're like, well, make sure they don't get out of the truck and this and that. And
Yeah, but the
Yeah.
other part of it is it's also a, here's the other thing, is that it's also could be, you could charge people to look at your operation, for God's sake.
oh, that was another thing I told you.
Right?
You know
Yeah.
how you have the museum, right?
Yeah.
So you got people coming in and they want to have a look at the museum,
Mm-hmm.
and then you can have an extra thing. You can say, because I told them this won't smell just like this here.
Yeah.
And I said, somebody goes to the museum and say, oh, would you like to take a little tour down to our
worm
landfill thing to see our worm compost, right?
Yeah.
Well, they're going to say for sure, and then they'll go down there and all these older ladies
Yeah,
and young
yeah.
people, everybody.
Yeah.
It's just like
Yeah,
selling
high
drugs
heels.
better. No, it really is, because drugs
true.
only, old people think, oh, that's terrible, right? This year, everybody likes it.
Everyone likes
Church
it.
goers, everybody likes it, eh? it really is true.
That was one of the reasons why our granddaughter wanted to come back to Fort Nelson to see our worms that we had.
So anyways, if you take them down there with a little bus, let's just say you got Merle going down there with a little bus there.
Yeah.
Holy man, you get out there and dig
Well,
a
you
little
know
bit and
what?
show them some worms, right?
Yeah.
Then they come back to the museum and you sell them a gallon of worm castings.
Yeah.
I'll bet you they buy it because it's really good for growing your
Yeah,
garden and
absolutely.
stuff. And now, wouldn't that be a hit? Have a sign up.
You know what, back in the day, before any of you guys were here, the dump before it was what it is now, the tourist bus would go down there because there'd be like 25 bears in the
I
dump
know,
eating
that's what
Oh,
they
yeah,
used
yeah,
I
yeah.
know, remember I told you that? They were-
Terrible. I think I even have some pictures somewhere.
Well,
But
we
it's
used to go down there with
terrible.
my dad back
Oh,
in the
yeah.
truck and watch
I
all the
loved
bears.
Rugen
Yeah.
the dump as a kid. We'd go down
did
there
too.
and boot through shit.
We
Yeah.
did too.
That's right. Yeah. Oh yeah, when you're young, eh?
Is this the beginning of garage sale
I'd
fever?
still do that.
No, so
I'm gonna go
see
see
if
the
we can-
sunflower.
We'll see if we can
Oh,
connect.
the sunflowers growing everywhere.
And I can't do it tonight because we're going to go to poker tonight. But I'll see if I can take you down there and show you if you want.
That
There's a
would be
squirrel right
cool.
there, look at that.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, we're gonna be
down
gone.
there and finds a piece of
I
bread and this
bet.
and that too.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna have
Just gonna get some crackers. Yeah, we're gonna be gone till Monday, right? So you'll
Yeah.
have to be next
Yeah.
week.
Oh yeah,
sometime
no
anyway.
rush. I can take you down there.
Yeah.
Doors
Hopefully.
open, squirrel.
Oh, that's so cool, Will.
rat
Thank
with the
you.
tail. Rat with the tail.
No, super cute.
I'm gonna go look at the sunflower and get this over here.
Betcha. Yeah, there's a big old
Look at
sunflower
that.
there.
So now is this all been composted here?
Well,
Or is it yours
what
there?
happened is I collected cardboard all last winter from as many businesses as I could, and I just laid it down over here.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to mix the grass with it because it might get hot and catch fire. So I put all the grass that people brung over here.
Oh, okay.
Oh, here, you want to see a bigger sunflower? Come on, look at this one.
Yeah.
I didn't even plant that one or these ones over here. They just started growing.
Yeah, I bet.
They're kind of wilted down, but
Oh yeah, look at that.
there's that sunflower.
Wow.
Oh my god, it's huge.
That's enormous.
And I never
Look at
planted it.
that.
It just started growing, eh?
Same, eh?
Wow. That's amazing.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. They like worm dirt too.
Yeah, I'll bet.
Oh, I got the water going right there.
Yeah, one right beside us there.
Whoa!
And the same thing, eh? It's just a bunch of leaves and a bunch of worm dirt
Mm-hmm.
and cardboard and dirt. A couple feet of dirt underneath there. So I told the town, well, why not be the first ones to do this?
Yes,
I know.
well, it's very innovative.
It is. This is pretty exciting.
Yeah.
I mean, the only thing, the other thing is that really there's nothing neat and tidy about garbage, is there?
No,
You know
that's
what I
right.
mean?
Yeah.
But I mean, when you look at that, you'd never think that there was post of worms under